Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, July 6th, 1 a.m. Mountain Time 2019. Breaking news happening hours ago. 7.1 magnitude kicking off a ridge crest. Adding insult to injury to a 6.2 magnitude kicking off a day ago. The largest earthquake in 2 decades was just crushed by thousands of times of strength. This 7.1 magnitude, very little information coming out about damage, or I guarantee there's damage. Shake map showing 9. We need you to keep calm. It's boom time. Welcome to the show, folks. Severe thunderstorm and flash flooding possible in the high plains and northeast Saturday. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible Saturday over the high plains. Boom! And the northeast region. The main threats from the severe storms will be damaging winds and hail. Additionally, heavy to excessive rains from thunderstorms may bring some flash flooding to these areas. So be on the alert. Check out weather.gov. Click on your county that's affected to get all of the details. That's how it works. 7.1 magnitude ridge crest. Now, this could be an uptick. This could be pre-quakes. There's no major fault system here to quell this pressure. So we've had a 6.2 and a 7.1, and we have major fault systems, the Cascadia and the San Andreas, just to the west of this region. So this has been translating north of Northridge. We'll get there, but keep calm. Did you hear it's the coolest and wettest January to June on record ever, going back to 1880 and earlier, since records have began? 69% of the U.S. has averaged below normal temperatures this year for all 6 months. We're in the 7th month, with 34% more than 2 degrees below normal. Some areas up to 7 degrees below what it was in 2012. It's insane. It's so insane that there's only been a few other times in history that has been this low. Here's the average January-June daily maximum temps, U.S., all historic data. You can see how we've beat the 1979 low and the 1911 low and even the 1897 low. We crushed them all, and we are now at the lowest 6-month recorded temperature ever in North America in history. And they want you to believe in global warming. I mean, I don't know how stupid you have to be to look a gift horse in the mouth, but I just showed you a gift horse. And here's another graph showing you the percent of days over 80 Fahrenheit is the lowest on record by a wide margin. Ever. Infinity. And here we are, January to June, percent of hot days at all U.S. historical climatological stations. One of the lowest ever recorded. Look how much hotter it was back here in 1935. Are you picking it up? I just put it down. Alaska hit with record high temperatures and wildfires. You're all burning up in Alaska. Well, we predicted this 3 years ago. It's part of the grand solar minimum package, the meridional flow, and the heat that then wafts off of the Pacific and goes up into Alaska, warming it up with record highs and record burns. You want to know the facts? Come over to Roy Spencer's site, drroyspencer.com. Record high temperatures in France happening at the same time record high temperatures in Alaska are happening. I wonder why that is. These are facts the media doesn't tell you because they have a narrative. The facts are, just to the east of France was record low temperatures. Yes. You know why? The excessive heat in Europe wasn't caused by summer air sitting there and cooking in a bath of increased human-emitted carbon dioxide. It was the antidote to a record low spinning over here in Eastern Europe, where record temperatures were recorded, record frost, and no one reported on that except my buddy here over at Electroverse, Cap Alon, where multiple all-time low temperature records were set across Germany. Rare July frost ravaged Saxony. Did you hear about that? No. And you won't hear about that unless you watch our channel and share this with like-minded people that you care about, because times are changing. You've been lied to. You need to start preparing. Yeah, the shifts are occurring. Food shortages are imminent, and the grid is about to fail. On the back of the well-documented 3 days of heat last week, Germany is now setting multiple new record low temperatures as the anticipated and long-lasting Arctic front begins to take hold. We just showed you a picture of it. And here's just a quick synopsis. Lowest July temperature since 1999 in Quickborn. Goteng, lowest July temperature since 96. Saltau, the lowest July temp since 1986. Friesloith, lowest temperature since 71. Lippstadt, lowest temperature since 90. Diepholz, lowest temperature since 71. That's when I was born. And then we're going to hear more alarmists in the coming days. Mark my words that Greenland is melting at a record rate because it has just dropped below baseline. So they're going to say it's melting at a rate that has never been seen before in history. I guarantee it. Mark my words. There it is. There's the huge drop down they're going to be reporting on. They didn't report on the almost record spike that happened at the end of June, but they will report on this drop down that's happening in the early July. And mark my words, by the time we hit August, we're going to have spikes up into this white that will get their knickers in a bunch. And I will report on it with a big glee on my face. 7.1 magnitude earthquake strikes Southern California. Very little information coming in because we pre-record this. 7.1 magnitude struck. A computer wrote this article. The quake was centered near Ridgecrest. Post the 6.2 magnitude trembler that was the largest in 20 years. The quake has caused minor damage and injuries around the epicenter. It was much larger than the 6.2, hundreds of times larger, thousands of times more dangerous. Shake Map 9. The Thursday's quake, the scientists had warned it could lead to an even larger quake, which it has. This quake was larger in magnitude than the destructive 1994 Northridge quake, pushing us back decades and decades, which measured 6.6. Thank God it was in Ridgecrest. And what I mean is it wasn't in LA. That's all. Because the infrastructure would be ruptured and damaged. But this is not over, kids. This major activity may translate to a major fault zone, and we may see a major uptick in this particular region. It's anyone's guess. What you do know is what you now know is what you know. The last quake of this size occurred in 99 in Hector Mines area of the Mojave Desert. Because of its distance to LA, did not cause any major damage, thankfully. If we go over here to discover solar wind, you can see exactly when that quake happened moments ago here. We were sitting quietly with a sun to earth connection, we started to switch earth to sun, and we reached that critical 180 phi angle, and that's when the boom went off. The last major quake happened back here when we were steady at 180, or in that region. But this is exactly when the quake went off, just 3 hours before I'm bloviating, and blippity bloppity blue. I don't need to tell you anymore. I've already told you 100 times. There it is. And here it continues. And now what I want you to see is that some of this energy is translating north in this region of volcanic and hydrothermal activity. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. It's not over, kids. We're still seeing 5 magnitude or greater in this region, and it's moving north. Major pile up to the north here. So never before have there been this many quakes in such a short period of time in this region in recorded history, which is bringing us back to the Dalton minimum and earlier. As predicted, all the things we've said have come true. And now the mainstream are telling you that maggots are the answer to feeding a human population that's heading to 9 billion. Well, I want to tell you something different. Matt Powers and I discussed ways that you can reactivate your soil that are, this information is up to 4,000 years old. We're talking about EM1, which is in the store, in our Amazon store. Essential micronutrients, #1. It's a proprietary blend that will actually reactivate your soil and put all the biological nutrients that you need in there in the mycorrhiza to begin breaking down your clays and growing the most nutrient-dense foods that you can possibly imagine. But you can't do it unless you buy the product, which is in our store, EM1 and Permaculture Necessities. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because maggots are not the answer to feeding humans. That's just been disgusting. The answer to feeding humans comes from the Amazon jungle, which was once home to millions more than previously thought. In fact, hundreds of millions. In fact, in 1500, a Spanish explorer went across South America and actually reported on cities in the size of tens of millions, dozens of them. And then when we went back more recently, there was no evidence of it. The jungle has completely covered all evidence of these cities. But within these cities is the Terra Preta, the Terra Preta. It's the black earth. It's amazing. It's biochar, mycorrhiza enhanced, micronutrient dense permaculture. And I'm about to blow your mind. The Brazilian jungle is not a natural feature on planet Earth. It's human created. This was a permaculture forest created by humans over the last 10,000 years, since the last catastrophe. They were trying to remake Eden, and they did a wonderful job. They learned how to get the essential micronutrients they needed to do farming in a rainforest setting, and they did it. It's still alive today. Hundreds of years later, the Brazil nut trees were selectively grown where they are, which is why we get those beautiful nuts right in our mouth. I said it. So if you want to learn more about Terra Preta, ancient civilizations, and the information we're now relearning today, please watch the interview with Matt Powers. It is Hours of Powers with Matt, where we talk about permaculture principles, lost art, and how you can save your arse. Now, more information coming out today or yesterday or the day before. It's unimportant. In fact, 28th of June 2019, intensified East Asian winter monsoon during the last geomagnetic reversal transition. We're living the current geomagnetic reversal transition, so this is of particular importance because we're totally fluxed. And if you don't pick up what I put down, please watch the last 1,068 videos before you ask me a stupid question at oppenheimerranch.com. It's actually oppenheimerranch@gmail.com, but don't ask me anyway. The strength of Earth's magnetic field dipole field controls galactic cosmic rays. Period. We blow this out every day, and if you didn't know, now you know. The galactic cosmic ray induced cloud formation is proven by Svensmark up to 2 decades ago and repeated by the Cloud Project in the early portion of this millennia by CERN of all people. They were trying to disprove Svensmark, but what they got was an exact corroboration of what he said all along. GCRs cause cloud nucleation in the middle atmosphere where albedo effect takes hold and global cooling occurs, which you're living. Not only that, you have increased flooding events. So what we used to think was a 10, 50, 100-year, 500-year flood is now changed dimension. The 500-year flood has become the 5-year flood. The 100-year flood has become the annual flood, and you're totally flooded. Or fluxed, however you look at it. But it's galactic cosmic rays and SRCs that are pouring, changing your DNA and causing the next mass extinction. And that's a boom. Whew. I feel like I've said a lot. And we don't have much time left. 7.1 magnitude earthquake happening, an uptick. We have galactic cosmic rays causing huge monsoonal floods, killing thousands 40,000 years ago and at every geomagnetic reversal, including the one we're living, and no one gives a fuck. Well, if you do and you're looking for a way out, check out Climate Revolution. Yeah, it's the only book you need, Climate Revolution, and we're going to just finish on that. We have a couple minutes left before the premiere of the video with Matt Powers, and then you'll be seeing this in just about an hour. Climate Revolution, The Grand Solar Minimum by David Dubine, and also friends of the channel, Bill Porter and his son. This could be the most comprehensive 250 pages of information, which is a remedy to the situation you're living. We're having trouble loading it, so I'm going to, before we go, make sure you check out Climate Revolution by David Dubine. Oppenheimer Ranch Project is mentioned at least 3 times, according to David. I didn't confirm this. I've only read the first 84 pages, so I don't know if that's true. And you should read the entire list. And we're having connectivity issues, so we're not going to be showing you that now. But we will show you as some of NASA's $1 billion mission to search for life on Titan explained. And the explanation is totally cockamamie. Same reason we went to the moon. Not so we could be the first one there. It was to look for volcanic glass. So now we're going to go to Titan to look for life. It's to test an engine. Trust me. Let's watch the video together. We love each and every one of you. Thanks to our Patreons, our one-time donors. We need you to increase in output. We need you to share this with like-minded people. We need you to continue to shove this up the throats, eyes, and ears of those global warming alarmists. We're sick of it. We've just recorded the coldest 6 months in North American history for all of recorded time. Isn't it your time to step up?
Land an unmanned spacecraft on Titan, Saturn's largest moon, and explore the surface for evidence of potential alien life.
You better do it, Dad.
The $1 billion mission will test NASA engineers like never before. Because if you're going to explore Titan, there's something you need to know. Just like our own moon, Titan orbits a planet. But it actually looks and behaves more like an Earth. And that's why, for this mission, NASA opted for a different kind of spacecraft. This is Dragonfly. It's a nuclear-powered drone that's the size of a large lawnmower. Now, if NASA is going to send a space drone anywhere, it's Titan. Because, similar to Earth, it has a thick atmosphere, which...
Hold on a minute. So this Dragonfly nuclear drone, which they're testing on Titan, is not going to be used on Earth. Well, during the grand solar minimum in the coming years when the grid fails, global unrest takes over the planet, and 5G is implemented for population control, crowd control, mind control. What do you think is going to be flying around the surface? They're testing this in space so that you can't watch them test it. And you know where it will be implemented? As all of the nuclear plants melt down and almost 80% of the surface of the continents are irradiated. How are they going to monitor these regions? You're looking at it. It's disgusting. It's right in your face, and everyone thinks we're looking for life on Titan. Oh my God! I hope we find the little guy up on Titan. Do a dab. Do it now.
which can keep the drone aloft. Dragonfly is built like a helicopter, able to take short flights in between landings. It will run on what's called a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, or RTG. The RTG runs on radioactive decay from a reserve of plutonium-238, which not only will power the spacecraft for months on end, but will also keep it warm. You see, the average temperature on Titan is minus 179 degrees Celsius,
Do a dab.
cold
It's
enough
chilly.
to freeze Dragonfly's circuits. But a byproduct of radioactive decay is heat, which will protect the fragile electronics on board, which Dragonfly will be using to study surface composition, temperature, weather patterns, and...
Can you imagine 1,000 dragonflies flying over Earth after the next grid down? How much global warming they will add to the atmosphere? It's almost like they don't care about you. It's almost like it's all been planned. It's almost like... Bah!
geological activity, as well as look for water, carbon compounds, and other signs of potential life. And NASA already has a good idea of where to explore. Back in the 2000s, NASA's Cassini spacecraft mapped entire sections of Titan's surface, uncovering lakes of liquid methane and possible ice volcanoes. The ice volcanoes are of special interest because scientists think they could launch underground water to Titan's surface.
Did you ever think they're of special interest because there's no way to get a volcano made out of an ice? Oh my God. They could tell you that pink butterflies fly out of the ass of Titan, and everyone would be like, I can't wait till they get the picture of those butterflies. That would be amazing. I mean, imagine pink butterflies.
In fact, there's evidence to suggest that Titan has a vast subterranean ocean of liquid water about 80 kilometers down. And if that water is mixed with methane-based molecules lurking in Titan's surface lakes, there's a chance for life to form, according to some experts.
Not only that, there's a chance for Evian to capitalize on Titan. Can you imagine how much a gallon of Titan water would cost? $1 billion! And you'll be paying $75 for a 16-ounce glass of it in the near future. That's your future. That's what capitalism does. That's what you've been allowing to be done to yourself. It's so sickening. I'm glad you're stuck in a city.
And Dragonfly will have plenty of time to test that notion. If all goes according to plan, Dragonfly will study Titan's surface for at least 2.5 years and is expected to travel over 175 kilometers. That's almost double the distance covered by all the Mars rovers combined. And whether it finds alien life or not, there's plenty more science to discover. For instance,
we'll never tell you why we're actually going there. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. NASA, never a straight answer, makes some of the most amazing videos to completely dupe your ass and to just make you stare at this square while you don't plan a fucking thing. Sucks to be you. It's absolutely amazing to be me. I've been growing food for 5 years. I've been off-grid, out of electromagnetic radiation, and I'm about to start probably one of the most amazing experiments in human history. Stick with us. Share this with like-minded people. Use the Oppenheimer Ranch Preparedness store. Check out Permaculture Necessities. Get the EM1. Make your own. For $35, you can make 50 gallons of magical solution that was being used in the Amazon jungle 4,000 years ago to feed tens of millions. Do you want abundance? If you don't buy the EM1, then you don't want abundance, and you're not listening to us. You do not need to spend $150 a year on fertilizers and other bullshit that say organic. Grow soil. We're trying to teach you, but we're not trying to tell you what to do. But apparently you need to be told. Be safe. We love you. We're telling you. Are you farming, you pricks?